Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows, their new Star Wars movies currently in the works by Disney and Lucasfilm, that's really going to fulfill this new Star Wars universe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that they are on the road to success here, with having over a dozen Star Wars projects already being worked on the Disney Plus platform. Now, it doesn't end there, of course. They're also working on a handful of Star Wars movies, be it a new trilogy or a handful of spin-off films out there. They really are doing everything in their power to really make Star Wars just as expansive as the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And speaking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, alright, we do have one actress that is going to be associated with a major Star Wars TV series, and that is, of course, actress Brie Larson, attached to Star Wars The Acolyte. Now, in case you guys did not know and are out of the loop, The Acolyte takes place within the High Republic era, and it's going to take place more at the tail end of that timeline, showing us emerging dark side powers and new secrets about the Force. Sure, it sounds cool on paper, right? But overall, who's attached to it? Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it's going to be received by different fans around the world. Now, with that being said, of course, everything related to George Lucas is very intriguing and how he actually stands with the High Republic era and, of course, The Acolyte. Now, given that The Mandalorian Season 3 is now in development, fans have been excited about the future of the franchise and more. It's described that creator George Lucas is actually hard at work with both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in order to create a new direction for Star Wars fans. However, given that Star Wars The Acolyte is in a bit of a struggle, both Lucas and Chapek recently came to an agreement where it's noted that George Lucas has a plan in place to fire Brie Larson from Star Wars, and that if the Acolyte series fails terribly with astronomical ratings, Chapek and Lucas have the freedom to end the series at just one season and fire Brie Larson. Not just that, however, it's noted that the plan by Lucas is to fire Larson from Star Wars entirely if the show fails and delivers a very bad divide between the entire Star Wars fandom, very similar to The Last Jedi's, and will not include her character Maeve in books, novels, and/or comics from that to continue the story of her character from the High Republic era of the franchise. Now, on top of this also, it's noted that George Lucas was never thrilled about Larson stepping in for the role of a Jedi God in the series, and is waiting to actually see how the show will perform in 2022 when it is actually aimed to be released on Disney+. Now, here's the thing about the High Republic era, alright? A lot of fans out there are not all that happy about the direction of it, and that's fine. I myself am not all that happy about it either. The last two phases are going to be done by John and Dave, which, by the way, is fantastic news. It means that we're going to see this major difference in tone between the first phase and the second and third phase, if you will. Now, everything related to Brie Larson, alright? We've gone over how she's a very overly demanding actress. We talked about how she has a lot of creative differences behind the scenes of The Acolyte with Kathleen Kennedy and even, yes, Leslie Headland. That also speaks volumes. It tells us that Brie is just a very difficult person to work with, and that's exactly why. This show, I believe, is not going to work out. Now, the Acolyte series, alright, they've already had numerous setbacks, be it rewrites or, you know, the firing of some directors and writers by Kathleen Kennedy. We have seen this numerous times. This is nothing new. Kathleen Kennedy, in fact, fired a director just a couple of weeks ago that was actually associated with the show, that is now in the talks to be replaced by Rian Johnson for a total of 2 episodes within the High Republic show, The Acolyte. Now, George's plan to let go of her is a very good one. If the show fails miserably and the ratings are astronomically low, of course, then George and Chapek have the right to actually let her go and not even include a second season, if you will. Now, that's the thing here. If it succeeds within Kathleen Kennedy's contract, it is able to go, you know, on and on if it succeeds. However, Kathleen Kennedy is only going to be supervising the first season itself. Everything after that will be done by either Leslie or whoever may be writing or directing the shows from that point forward. So this is a very interesting setup by George and Bob Chapek to let go of Larson. That's their overall plan, to let her go. It's all a matter of if the show fails, and if it also does create a big divide between fans. Both of which I think is very likely to happen. Again, I'm not one to always want a show to fail. I'm not one to always want to see a movie fail. But when it comes to who's actually attached to it all, it's pretty obvious that it's not going to go the way that the hardcore fans and regular Star Wars fans want to see it go. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, let me know what you think about this entire scenario, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.